Hey, what's up everyone? It's Champizard here. So today I have a PSA 8 first edition Togetic, so I'm going to crack it open using my trusty bottle opener. That's way better than using like pliers and a screwdriver. It gets it way better. So all I'm doing on this one is just kind of clean up the scratches. I'm going to regrade it for my personal collection with CGC. I know they have less value that way unless they get a higher grade, like a 9 or a 10 or 9.5, but I do a lot of regrading with my personal collection with CGC. So right here I'm looking at some of the scratches and some better lighting. There's a few smaller scratches on the hollow, nothing major. I'm going to point to a few right here. So the plan with this Togetic is a few passes of recovery. I'm not going to do it for very long because there are a lot of risks with using too much recovery. Actually, on some of these brighter backgrounds and like the Neo era, I've seen more get like caught for like being altered. That's because they're just more easy to show, more easy to see because it makes it be like too shiny in a way. So you never want to go overboard using anything that's like an abrasive like Kurt's card recovery. You want to use it for maybe 10 to 20 seconds, a couple passes, maybe no more than 3-4 max. Just to make sure you're not tearing too much of the card away that, actually damages it or makes it worse or makes it not gradable. So I usually do 2 or 3 passes. Since this one didn't have a lot of scratches, I think I did about 2 or 3 here on Togetic. You just do circular motions, slow. You don't use too much pressure. You use enough recovery just to kind of like circle it around on the spread the scratches are at. Some people do it a lot harder. Some people do it differently. I've always just found the best risk reward ratio is just soft circular motions. You might could get some more scratches off or some of those zebra scratches off if you used a little more pressure. But at that point, I think you maybe are getting a little risky with the process. So I just choose not to risk it. I did see a little improvement here. This one didn't really have a ton of deep scratches that I really had to get a ton off of. So I'm going to do a second pass here momentarily so I get some more recovery on the polish applicator. And again, just 10 to 20 seconds of applying the recovery in circular motions. I use the penny sleeve. If you're running with a penny sleeve for, it's just to hold the card down and keep it steady while I use the recovery. Recovery is really meant for hollows like this Togetic or anything like that. You don't use it on other parts of the card really. I've seen cases where you can. Kurt's card carrier himself could tell you better than I could. Most of its uses come on the hollow of vintage Pokemon cards though. You can use Kurt's card carrier polish on the entirety of the card and usually it would be just fine, though there are some select cards that polish could be damaging to. Cards like this, recovery on the hollow is fine and you can use polish on the front and back. I usually don't do recovery or anything like that on anywhere else. I haven't really tried it or messed with it because it does just get a little more risky. But I will use polish sometimes to kind of get the back a better shine, which is what I'm doing right here. I'm going to use a polish right where I used the recovery at. I didn't polish this entire card. I just kind of cleaned it. But I really just wanted to polish the hollow just to finish off any of those remaining little scratches that might have been present even after the recovery. It just kind of brings everything together, gives it more of a shine without, going overboard with it. You don't need to do too many passes with polish. It's similar methodology as to the recovery where you're just doing short circular motions with it. And then you really want to be sure that you're getting it all cleaned off. If you're using this to try to pre-grade some of your cards, if you leave any of the recovery or the Kurt's card polish on or anything else you might be using, try to clean the card. If there's any residue left behind, they will see it, whether you with Beckett, PSA, CGC, or tag. It'll probably get caught altered, so use some kind of card spray, which is usually distilled water, not pepper alcohol. A lot of time is the mixture, and you use that just to, like I'm using a cotton pad here. I usually use the microfiber cloth to wipe away all the remaining residue and polish. Then I use a cotton pad with some card spray just to clean it again, and then I'm using the microfiber cloth once more just to be safe, just to go over one more time to clean the hollow and make sure I get it all off. So I also looked at the back of this card, and it did have a tad bit of whitening in the bottom right, which I'm about to show here momentarily. Right now you can see me, we're going to clean the back of the card, just wipe it off. You see me checking it out because the back of the card needs to be cleaned too, just like anything else. So about the whitening, I thought maybe there was this edge on the right side of the card where that little bit of whitening right there was slightly lifted, so I kind of took a closer look at it. After I finished recording this, I did throw it in the humidor and mark it a little bit, but it really wasn't anything that was like a corner that was lifted or an edge that was damaged. It was just a little bit of whitening right there on the edge. So much you can do with that. I did take a precision Q-tip, take a little bit of card polish to it just to see what it looks like. Sokatic wasn't anything crazy. I just wanted to work on some of the scratches. I just wanted to show the process off. If you like the content, please hit the like button, leave a comment down below if you have any questions. Please subscribe to the channel as we'll do more content, more serious repairs. My name's been Champizard, and I'll see you next time.